Hello and welcome to episode 34 of my Salem tutorial series. This episode is going to be on learning the simple cooking skill and then making some trail mix and some garlic rabbit with our newfound skill with the recipes that it opens up. Before I begin, I want to dedicate this episode to Tosh. May you have a speedy recovery, my dear Aussie friend. And I hope everything is okay for you. Okay, right, first up, let's take a look at how to harvest hay and dry boards and then see if the test I did by placing two piles of dry boards next to each other affect the quality of the dry boards. So let's take a walk up here first. Okay, first of all, just really quickly and simply, you know your haystack is ready because it turns golden colour, like I said before. Just right click and then left click collect hay. The same goes for a pile of dry boards. To harvest your pile of dry boards and to know when they're ready, you simply right click and then you'll see collect boards. So what I'm going to do before we go to the test that I did up there with them piles of boards, because some of you asked about the distance of 5 tiles away, does it affect them? So I'll show you so we know for fact. Okay, first of all though, to collect some dry boards, let's open up the pocket first so you can see what we're collecting, and then right click the pile and left click collect boards. See, there we go. You'll see that even though it has the clearance around it, you still will get some mouldy boards. Now, what do you do with the mouldy boards? Well, in a later episode, I will show you a very good use for them. But they also have a very good use for now. We can use these to benefit us with our farming. Now, to use the mouldy board, right click on it and do not choose lick clean, as that will drive you mad. Click split. When you do that, we'll get to wood choppings. So what do we use wood choppings for? Yes, of course, for the upkeep on our fields. So it doesn't matter if we see mouldy boards, they're still very useful. Now let's collect a few more boards just to see the quality. So you see it's mixed in. Even though we have the clearance, we're still getting some bad boards, as in mouldy boards. So we don't want them, but we will, however, still get plenty of dry boards from our piles. So it doesn't matter that we're getting some mouldy ones because we're going to be getting so many anyway. I just need to find somewhere to put them all. You most certainly don't want to store them off of your claim once you've gone to the trouble of making them. Oh, there we go. Right, so I'm just going to drop them dry boards in there. Okay, now then, let's look quickly at the test that we did. So, same again, I'm just going to collect boards. And in actual fact, with that test, you can see that placing piles of boards next to each other actually has the exact same effect as if you have a clearance of 5 tiles around your pile. So in conclusion, a pile of boards, whilst, see, normally when I've done a pile of boards like this with a clearance of 5, they've all been 90% dry boards. So I would say still getting 3 mouldy like with this, it's just a bit strange. This pile should have had nothing but dry boards, but it gave us mouldy boards. This pile I expected to get mouldy boards because it's next to that pile. So I will let you all do your own tests. Basically, the golden rule is try to keep your piles 5 tiles away from anything else, not including grass or flowers, because they can spawn at any time. So there we go. Right, let's now get to what this episode is supposed to be about, which is simple cooking. So let's just put my dry boards there because they're on my claim. These ones I'm just going to split. There we go. Right, okay, so sorry about that. I just wanted to show you about the dry boards so you have some idea with it. Okay, let's learn some recipes with the simple cooking skill. This will unlock a ton of cooking recipes and unlock more advanced cooking and structures. To learn simple cooking, we will need 200 sparks and embers and 690 sugar and spice. So if we bring this up and if we find the skill simple cooking, there it is. You will see it needs what I've just said to you. Now to achieve this, to learn this, we will study one beetle. Yep, that's simple because, well, it is simple cooking. You will see that it gives us our sugar and spice and also sparks and embers that we need. So I will study that. And there we go. I'll now buy the skill. Okay, there are two main reasons I learned simple cooking. One is so we can now make Trailmix, which is a food we can make that is good and does not need a lit fire in order to make. Cool, eh? It also unlocks bar of bubbly soap, which we can make 50 silver for at the town stall. It also unlocks garlic rabbit, which is a very good food for gobbling. Okay, now we know simple cooking, let's make our first trail mix. To make the trail mix, we will need 3 myrtle oak acorns, which are these. We will need 1 stray chestnut, which is this one. We will need 2 pine nuts, which we get by removing the scales off of a pine cone. You'll see gives us the pine nuts, so we need 2 of them. So let's remove again. And we will need 1 cranberry. So that's all the components we will need to make this. Okay, so let's go to craft. Let's go to food and let's go to nuts. And you'll now see Trailmix. Now this is my favourite food to make whilst working. So cutting down trees, digging, any actions that you're doing in the world, mining, you can benefit from this simple food of Trailmix. Why? Let's show you. So if we left click Trailmix, there's the recipes I just listed to you. Notice I'm not near a fire and I'll just click craft. So there's the first benefit to this. You can do it anywhere, but there's the real benefit. That little bit of food has given us a stack of 20. So if you made 5 stacks, that's 100 food that you've then got. And look at the heals. So it boosts all of our humours for just eating normally. Yes, you can gobble it, but we're going to get to the gobble food next. This is just a food to eat to replenish all 4 of the humours as you use them, whether it be fighting or chopping down trees or making log piles or whatever, then you'll use Trailmix. Okay, now next let's take a look at our first real gobble food, which is, of course, garlic rabbit. To make garlic rabbit, we will need 1 raw cut. It can be any raw cut of meat. So it could be raw cut of beaver, raw cut of rabbit, or any other raw cut. We will need 1 raw rabbit steak. That's specific, it has to be rabbit. And we will need 1 wild garlic. Now, just to try and show you what a wild garlic looks like in the out in the wilderness as you're walking around, because you will want to make wild garlics, you're going to see why. But let's see. Oh, there's a flower. Let's just quickly pick that. because they always have good stats. Let's grab that crow feather as well, because that also has good stats. And I'm trying to just look to see if there is a wild garlic, just so I can show you. Normally there are absolutely loads around me, and I do mean absolutely loads. But typically, now that I want to show you raw garlic, they've all disappeared off of the map. Isn't that typical? Let's just have a quick look over here, just to make your lives easier for if you want to do this recipe. Normally there are tons of them around, which is what makes this recipe so easy to make. You will always see them lying around. Oh yeah, there's a raw garlic. Do you see the icon of it? It's like a little purple, maybe not so purple, I don't know what colour you'd call that, but there is a raw garlic. We'll walk over and take a close look. See, I did 4 coal piles. To harvest a coal pile, well, I'll show you that when we make a bar of bubbly soap in another episode. Okay, but coming up here just to take a look at what this garlic looks like on the ground, so you will also know. Oh, and as luck would have it, or not have it, the garlic is buried. There it is. Can you see its head just sticking up? Let's walk around, see if I can get closer to zoom in. There's what, ignore all the boulders, but there's the head of the garlic. That's what it looks like. That's the main thing, is that you recognise what it looks like. See, that is a head of garlic. That's what it looks like on the mini-map. And that is the last component you need for making garlic rabbit. So let's go back and make it. Like I say, normally there's tons of them around, so you wouldn't have had to walk that far. And there's a possible rabbit for the next garlic rabbit that I make. Okay, now this food, of course, will need cooking. So we will need, first of all, to fuel the fire, which we will use all our pine scales for, but not the pine the wood choppings. There we go, that's now full up, which is good. Now we need to light it. Let's hope we don't fail, which is quite common. You will fail a lot when using tinder, unless you purchase the one from the cash store. But, you know, there we go, that's done that. Right, okay, so we now have the lit fire, so let's make our garlic rabbit. So we click craft and food, and we're looking for, I don't think it's under nuts. Is it under berries? No. Is it under nuts? No. Okay, it's been a little while since I've made garlic rabbit. There it is. Logically, it is under game meats. And of course, my brain doesn't always apply logic. So click game meats, click garlic rabbit. Let's now craft. You need to be using a fire, so let's craft. Okay, there is garlic rabbit. Now notice the stats of that. This is my favourite food for gobbling, for getting up. As you can see, clear winner is your phlegm bar, the blue bar, the bar that you need for digging, for mining, the one that can get you knocked out when you're not expecting it. Now we can boost it right up. So let's give you a demonstration. If we click gobble and then click once, no need to gobble a second food because it's so overpowered over what we currently have. We have 20, that gave us 40. So now you can see that it's just boosted our gobble point. And there we go. Notice the penalty is only now 10%, not 50% like it was before on the nuts, these nuts we were gobbling. And we can gobble nuts as well now. as a second food, but that will increase our timers up, and I prefer to do it singly. But there we are. I've got my phlegm now to 20, and that's where it's going to stay. I'm going to slowly raise my blood, yellow bile and black bile to match. There we go. So there we have it. We can now effectively eat simple food without the need of a fire, and can effectively raise a humour. Have fun cooking and experiment with the rest of the recipes. Wherever you are in the world, God bless you and keep every last one of you safe. Thank you for watching and have a fantastic day. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please hit the like button. Goodbye.